Hey there, and welcome to The Explainer. So, have you ever wondered who's really in charge of your city? You know, the people who fix the streetlights or make sure the trash gets picked up. Well, it's a bigger story than you might think, and for us, it all kicks off with a simple mistake during a game of cricket.
So picture this. It's a lazy Sunday afternoon. A group of friends, Mala, Shankar, Jahangir, and Rehana, are just having a fun game of cricket. Everything's going great until, wham! Rehana hits the ball, and I mean really hits it. It sails so high it ends up smashing the neighborhood streetlight. Total oops moment.
And just like that, game over. The biggest question on their minds wasn't who won, but, uh-oh, what do we do now? See, they'd broken a window once before, and they had to pool their pocket money to pay for it. But a streetlight? Who'd even pay for that? I mean, who owns the streetlights?
Their little quest for answers led them straight to their neighbor, Yasmin Khala. And it was Rehana's mom who had the brilliant idea. Why her? Well, it turns out Yasmin Khala had just retired from the exact organization they were looking for.
Okay, so the kids have a problem, and it looks like Yasmin Khala has the solution. Let's get into the first piece of this puzzle. What is this mysterious organization?
So, Yasmin Khala just kind of chuckles and tells them, look, it's not like you pay one person. She explains that there's this big organization called the Municipal Corporation, and they're the ones who handle all the major city stuff. We're talking everything from streetlights to garbage collection to making sure you have water.
And let me tell you, their job is absolutely massive. Just think about it for a second. They're the ones working to prevent diseases from spreading. They run local schools and hospitals. They even build and take care of the parks you hang out in. This one organization is responsible for so much that impacts our daily lives.
And here's a cool little detail Yasmin Khala shared. The name of this organization actually changes based on how big the city is. So in a huge city like Pune, you've got a municipal corporation, but in a smaller town, it's called a municipal council. Different names, but they pretty much do the same crucial job.
Okay, so if this is such a massive organization, that brings up a really important question, right? Who's actually calling the shots? Who gets to decide, hey, let's put a new park here, or we need a new hospital over there?
Well, here's how the power is split. On one side, you've got the ward councillors. These are the folks that people like you and me actually vote for. They're the decision makers. Then, on the other side, you have the commissioner and all the administrative staff. They aren't elected, they're appointed government employees, and their job is to implement those decisions, to make them happen.
It's actually a pretty cool multi-step process, and it's designed to start at the neighborhood level. First, the city gets divided up into these different sections called wards. Then, the citizens in each ward elect their very own ward councillor. After that, all the councillors get together, form committees, and hash out the citywide budget. This way, the specific needs of each little neighborhood are supposed to be heard.
Okay, let's follow the money. I mean, running an entire city is obviously super expensive. So, where does all that cash come from?
The simple answer? Taxes. A tax is basically the money that we all chip in to the government so it can provide all those services we rely on. You know, everything from clean water to safe streets.
And this gives you a really good picture of where that money is coming from. Yeah, property taxes, the stuff homeowners pay, that's a big slice of the pie, about 25 to 30%. But that's not the whole story. The city also gets money from taxes on things like water, hotels, shops, even your movie tickets. And that's really important, right? It means pretty much everyone is contributing to keeping the city going.
So does that mean it's a one-way street? You just pay your taxes and hope for the best? No way. Absolutely not. The thing is, we as citizens can, and really we should, make our voices heard. And to show them how, Yasmin Khala told them this really powerful story. She said there was a time in her own neighborhood when the garbage just stopped getting picked up. It was piling up everywhere, attracting rats and flies. It got so bad that parents were actually scared to let their kids play outside. This is where a woman named Gangabai comes in. She rallied the whole community. She knew that just complaining to each other wasn't going to solve anything. They had to go straight to the person they elected, their ward councillor. After all, he worked for them.
And Gangabai was smart. She didn't just show up and yell. She had a plan. First, she organized a small protest right outside the councillor's house. Then, she got a petition and had every adult in the area sign it. And for the final step, she got a meeting with the top dog, the commissioner, and she made sure to bring her councillor and a sanitation engineer with her. Now that is how you do it.
So in the meeting, the commissioner tries to give them an excuse, right? He says, oh, we just don't have enough trucks. But Gangabai was ready.
She fired right back with, "But you seem to have enough trucks to collect garbage from the rich localities." Her comeback was so smart and so direct, it apparently left him completely speechless.
Now, it wasn't a magic fix. It didn't happen overnight. They actually had to stage another protest, an even bigger one this time. But their persistence totally paid off. The sanitation service in their neighborhood finally became regular. And that's the real lesson here, isn't it? When citizens get organized, they can make real change happen. As you can imagine, the kids were just completely captivated by Gangabai's story. They thanked Yasmin Kala for explaining everything. It was starting to get dark, so they headed for home, but you could tell their minds were just buzzing with what they'd learned.
But on the way, they look up, and there it is, the broken streetlight, the thing that started this whole adventure. They look at each other, a little smile passes between them, and then they turn around and run right back to Yasmin Kala's house. So that leaves us with a final question for you. Now that they're inspired by Gangabai's story, what do you think they're going to do next?